your 19 First Alert forecast.
And good morning, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. It is a first alert weather day. That's something our weather department does, a designation when we're going to have a serious impact on our weather. And just by looking at our live network of cameras, yeah, it is going to be that kind of day. You can see the Stark State camera down there in the Akron area. Not as much snow as we're seeing maybe in downtown and on the east and west sides of Cleveland, but it is going to continue to be one of those days. We're going to welcome in 19 First Alert meteorologist Kelly Dobeck. Kelly, winter is back with a vengeance after we had that nice weather last week, and we've got to get through the rest of today.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I do think that nice weather we had at the beginning of the month was kind of our downfall, because I was checking out the Lake Erie ice coverage, and we only have 2% ice on the lake, which explains why we have such robust lake enhancement snow out there. And we have had it for over 12 hours now at this point. So I do want to talk about what we're looking at right now on the radar and what to expect, because essentially the radar hasn't looked any different since like 7 p.m. last night. Areas from Erie County all the way to Ashtabula have just been getting slammed with lake enhanced snow, and some of the bands are heavier than others, but this has been the trend all morning long. So this is a really fluffy snow too, so the accumulations have been high. It's blowing a lot on the roads. It's been causing a lot of issues. On top of that, the snow not stopping. It is so cold outside right now, and we know after talking to ODOT this morning that when temperatures are below 20 degrees, the salt doesn't work as well, so they have to mix it with things to lower the freezing point to make the snow melt on the road. So not only are they dealing with blowing snow and continuous snow, but they're also dealing with bitter cold temperatures. So I want to show you what we're looking at the rest of the day here, because I know even Erie County has issued a level 3 snow warning, which they don't, snow emergency, which we don't see very often, level 3s, which means stay home unless absolutely necessary. The roads are closed. They're even closing some local businesses over in that area. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind here until the snow ends, unless you absolutely have to go out and about, you know, stay home for the next couple of hours. So the other reason you may want to stay home is this is the wind chill. So this is what it's going to feel like all morning. So this is what it'll feel like at 1, 2, 3 o'clock, right around 0, pretty much all day long. So it is just a brutal cold is expected here through the rest of the day today. Now, in terms of snow, how much more we're expecting of that, let me walk you through it with Future View. You can see in the top left-hand corner, this is the timestamp here. So 11 a.m., we still have lingering snow. Through lunchtime, that's when things finally start to break up a little bit. 2, 3 o'clock, we still have some leftover snow. And now, take this with a grain of salt, because we do have drier air moving in, but we had such a late connection here that this may linger a little bit longer than we wanted to. And I want to mention, even though the snow won't be falling anymore for the evening drive for the most part, because it's still breezy and the snow is so light and fluffy, blowing snow could still cause really slick spots out there on the roadway. So, you know, the evening commute still could be a little bit dicey, Dan, but the good news is we are going to see things, you know, wrapping up here in terms of, you know, snow potential by tonight. So a little bit longer to go.
And I want to thank you and the crew because we got the word out so early on this first alert weather day. It was clear on my commute in, it was about a quarter of the amount of traffic. So you had school closures, parents staying home, but also people working from home instead of trying to get into downtown. So that actually made the commute in not as terrible as it could have been, and that's because the word got out early. We're going to take a quick break and come back and look at the weather ahead, because I've seen the 7-day forecast and there's snowflakes on just about every day, but are we going to have another system like we just had? We'll be right back. And welcome back. And as you're about to notice, because of the temperatures, this snow we got today, it is not going anywhere because there is not much of a thaw opportunity coming up. Walk us through it, Kelly.
Yeah, not much of a thaw at all. In fact, more rounds of snow and even colder temperatures on the way heading into next week here. So today we've got the alert day. There is going to be snow tomorrow and Saturday, but the good news is with that is it's not going to be as impactful. It'll be quick little excuse me snows and some lingering lake effect. Temperatures will be above 20, which is better for, you know, clearing the roads and things like that. But behind each one of these systems is just like a bigger blast of cold air. So similar to today, by Sunday we get a bigger blast of cold air. Another system comes Monday. Look at Tuesday's high temperature. Oof, I'm really watching the wind chills with this one to see if we may have to issue an alert for the cold. That's going to be a rough one. And then we're back to our next system, bringing more snow and then another round of cold. So we're staying in this colder pattern for a little bit longer. And I could talk for a while about it, but I actually do talk about it tonight on First Alert Focus. You can watch that streaming on 19 News Plus at 7:30. I break down a little bit more as to why, you know, the pattern's looking colder and what we're going to expect through the rest of the month. But here's additional snow for today, and I've been updating this, you know, all day long, and it's additional. So, you know, technically this actually needs to be moved to the Ashtabula area, but everywhere else, Dan, going to pick up a couple more inches of snow through the morning, and then we'll be done for today. But it's going to be interesting seeing some of the snow totals because the snow is so fluffy. It's going to be pounded pretty high in some spots. It's going to look like a lot of folks got a lot of snow.
Yeah, I had to deal with that. My snow drift's a little bit taller than my snowblower today, so that's the kind of weather we've been having. Kelly, a bright side, let's look at the calendar. We are halfway through January, if you can believe that, January 15th. I can see opening day from here. I'm trying to stay positive.
Oh, gosh.
At least St. Patrick's Day is not that far off, and usually that's a time when we can finally get breaks in the weather. 19 First Alert meteorologist Kelly Dobeck, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, take care. It is going to continue to be a First Alert weather day, so make sure you check back our 11 o'clock news on Cleveland's 43, our noon news on Channel 19, just to see when this is finally all wrapping up for the day. The good news is the worst part is behind us. Just a little bit of remaining snow for a couple of more hours, and we will get the all clear. But we will keep you in the loop the entire time. If we have any other breaking news, it's going to be here on our digital platforms. Otherwise, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Make sure you have a safe day out there. Stay warm.